The house fell silent as Kingsley's parents slid the contract toward Genevieve and coldly declared, "Sign it. All your assets now belong to the family." Kingsley smirked. "It's just a formality, babe." Genevieve leaned back in her chair, a slow smile curling on her lips. "Then you're going to love what's in my safe deposit box." Their expressions shifted instantly. Victoria's fingers clenched around her wine glass, Gregory's jaw tightened, and Kingsley blinked, his smile faltering. Then, as if on cue, the butler stepped into the room. "Ma'am," he said, "your lawyer is here." The silence grew heavier, thick with the weight of an impending storm. Kingsley paled, while Victoria looked as if she had swallowed ice. Gregory just stood there, his eyes dark and unreadable. Teresa, Genevieve's lawyer, placed her briefcase on the table, her tone cool and sharp. "I hear there's a contract my client is expected to sign." Victoria recovered first, her voice syrupy but laced with daggers. "This is a private family matter. No need for lawyers." Teresa flipped through the contract, her sharp gaze scanning each line. Then, she let out a short laugh, shaking her head. "Unbelievable. This is blatant financial manipulation. If Genevieve signs this, you'll have full control over her assets. She wouldn't even be able to withdraw money or sell anything without your approval." Victoria flushed red, gritting her teeth. "It's just about trust." "Oh, of course," Teresa said dryly. "Then why does the contract state that only you have control over everything?" She turned to Genevieve. "Good thing you have a lawyer who actually reads the fine print." Kingsley abruptly stood up, his confusion twisting into anger. "Why are you acting like this?" Genevieve remained calm. "Why? You just tried to steal everything from me." Victoria immediately changed tactics, letting out a delicate laugh, her voice soft like a soap opera actress attempting to diffuse tension. "Oh, darling, you misunderstand. We only wanted to protect you. The world is dangerous, and money can be lost so easily. We just wanted to make sure you were safe." Genevieve arched an eyebrow. "Safe? Safe from what? Myself?" Gregory exhaled sharply, patience running thin. "This is becoming unnecessary. We should handle this like adults." Genevieve almost laughed. "Like adults? You mean like adults who try to rob their own family?" Gregory's face darkened, but Genevieve wasn't intimidated. Their desperation was showing. They thought she'd be too shocked to think clearly, too overwhelmed to fight back. They had no idea who they were dealing with. Then, Victoria dropped her next bomb. "I suppose this means you're not interested in the inheritance either." Genevieve's head snapped toward her. "Inheritance?" Kingsley shot his mother a warning look, but it was too late. The word was already out in the open. "Oh," Victoria mused, her voice light, casual. "Did Kingsley not tell you? His grandfather's estate, the one in Rhode Island, the real wealth of the family." Genevieve felt Teresa's eyes on her, both of them thinking the same thing. This wasn't just about her money. "The estate is in probate," Victoria continued, "and soon we'll gain full control. But with your attitude." She let the sentence dangle. Genevieve saw what she was doing, dangling a carrot, trying to tempt her, thinking she'd drop her guard. But Genevieve didn't see an opportunity. She saw a pattern. This family had a history of taking what didn't belong to them, always scheming, always planning to get their hands on something someone else had built. And Kingsley had known. He had kept this from her. She turned to him. "Were you ever going to tell me?" He ran a hand through his hair. "I was going to bring it up later, okay? When the timing was better." "Better for who?" He didn't answer, because they both knew the truth. He had never planned to tell her. They left that night without another word. In the car, Teresa sighed and drummed her fingers against her briefcase. "You realize what this means, right?" "Yeah," Genevieve muttered. "They were after more than just my money." "Exactly." Teresa tapped her fingers. If this estate is as big as they're making it sound, you can bet they'll do anything to keep control of it. Genevieve stared out the window, her mind racing. What are the odds Kingsley has debt? Teresa shot her a sharp look. You think he's hiding something? I know he is. Because now, everything made sense, the expensive suits, the flashy lifestyle, the way he always acted rich but never actually paid for anything. And if he was in debt, then this trust wasn't just about controlling her, it was about saving himself. The next morning, she did something she should have done a long time ago. She hired a private investigator. She wanted everything: his finances, his credit history, his past business dealings. And what the investigator found was worse than she imagined. Kingsley was drowning in debt. Maxed out credit cards, personal loans, even a business loan he had taken out in her name without telling her. She saw red. Not only had he lied, but he had stolen from her. And she wasn't about to let it slide. That night, she confronted him. How long have you been stealing from me? Kingsley blinked. What are you talking about? She threw the papers onto the table. You took out a loan under my name. You've been hiding debt, lying to me, and you wanted me to sign everything away to fix your mess. For the first time, he didn't deny it. Instead, he did something worse. He laughed, a cold, bitter laugh. You were always so damn careful, he muttered, shaking his head. I thought I could make you see the bigger picture, that you'd understand we needed to be smart about our future. But you just don't get it, do you? Genevieve's chest tightened. So this was always the plan. She looked up at Kingsley, searching his face for any trace of remorse. His expression was unreadable. You have no idea what you've just started, he murmured. She took a step back. Are you threatening me? Kingsley didn't answer. He simply gave her one last, lingering look before grabbing his coat and walking out the door. Genevieve stood frozen, fists clenched. She wasn't afraid, she was furious. If he thought this was over, he was dead wrong. That night, sleep barely touched her. Her mind raced, connecting every red flag, every lie, every calculated manipulation. He hadn't just betrayed her, he had been planning this for a long time. And she had let him. The next morning, her phone buzzed. It was Teresa. You need to come to my office. Now. The urgency in her voice left no room for questions. Genevieve grabbed her keys and drove. When she arrived, Teresa was already waiting, a thick file resting on her desk. You're not going to like this, Teresa warned, sliding it toward her. Genevieve opened it, and her blood ran cold. Another woman. No, two. Kingsley wasn't just lying about money. He was lying about everything. Teresa leaned forward. Meet Nora and Precious. 2 photos. 2 women. Both younger, both stunning. Nora was with him 2 years ago, Teresa continued. He promised to marry her, took out a loan in her name, drained her savings, then vanished. Genevieve's stomach twisted. Precious was last year. Same story. But he never actually broke things off with her. Genevieve stared at the pictures, her brain struggling to process. So he was cheating? Teresa nodded. While married to you? Yes. But here's the kicker. She flipped to another document. He was also engaged to Precious. Genevieve blinked. Wait, what? Yeah, Teresa said. He proposed, gave her a ring, and planned a wedding. She thinks she's about to marry him. In 6 weeks. Genevieve's mouth went dry. Married to her. Engaged to someone else. Scamming them both. Then it hit her. The Rhode Island estate. That inheritance his family was obsessed with. Kingsley needed a wife, on paper, to access it. That's why he had pushed for the trust. That's why he had kept her around. He wasn't just trying to steal from her. He was trying to replace her before she figured it out. That was his mistake. Because now, she had figured it out. Underscore 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 underscore. She needed to talk to Precious. Teresa arranged a private meeting at a coffee shop. When Precious walked in, she was glowing, practically floating with excitement. She thought she had a fiancé. She had no idea she was Kingsley's next target. "Hi, I'm Genevieve," she said. "Kingsley's wife." The color drained from Precious's face. "That's not possible." Genevieve placed her wedding ring on the table. Precious's hands trembled as she reached for her bag. She pulled out her own ring and placed it beside Genevieve's. Identical. Then, she started crying. Through broken sobs, she told Genevieve everything. Kingsley had promised her a future, a life of luxury in Europe. He said he needed to be married to secure his inheritance. He had already convinced her to sign over her savings. Genevieve clenched her fists. "Do you still have contact with him?" Precious wiped her tears. "He's supposed to take me to meet his family this weekend." Genevieve exhaled slowly. "We're going to crash that little reunion." Underscore 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 underscore. Precious played along. She texted Kingsley as if nothing was wrong, kept the engagement moving forward, even let him ramble about their perfect future together. Meanwhile, Genevieve got to work. A forensic accountant traced his hidden offshore accounts. The debts she'd uncovered before? Just the tip of the iceberg. Then she dug into his family. That Rhode Island estate? It wasn't legally theirs yet. The probate process was messy. They needed a stable, married heir to claim control. Kingsley was supposed to be that heir. Not anymore. Underscore 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 underscore